Have 2 hours gone by? It went like that. I've been reading a really good book, The Cake Therapist. But we're here today to actually talk about my new book. It's called Easy Bread. And the whole premise of this is that if I can make a video, you can make bread. How about that? So we have, in the previous two videos, we've talked about the overview, we've put the dough together. It has 4 ingredients: flour, water, salt, and yeast. We have let our dough sit for 2 hours. It used to be shaggy, and now it looks aerated. It's kind of floppy. It looks like seafoam on the top, and now we have to do something with it. So we have a choice with Easy Bread. You can write the name or write the date on the top in magic marker, and then you can put it in the refrigerator for up to 9 days. If you want to bake with it right away, you can take out a fourth of it, a half of it, or bake with all of it. It's up to you. So we're going to show you how you work with this. It's a little floppier, it's a little looser, it has more moisture, so you treat this dough differently. So first of all, we're going to take off the plastic wrap. And you can see that it has risen to the top of the bowl, and it has kind of a seafoamy, sort of a cottage cheesy sort of look to it. And that's normal. That's how it should look. To work with this dough, we have to add more flour, and we have to use what is known as a dough scraper. If you don't have one of these just yet, you could use a pancake turner. That also works, but a dough scraper would be your friend. So we're going to put a fair amount of flour on our surface. And in order to work with this, I like to take all the dough out of the bowl and then just carve it up that way. So you can see this is very moist, very floppy. And you think, how in the world? It's more of a batter, almost seems more of a batter than a dough. But you want to sprinkle this with flour just so that you can work with it a little bit, and you're actually more or less corralling the dough so that you can cut off what you need. So I'm going to cut off half of this today, and you could just put it out in a long oval and then put the rest in the bowl. And the bowl I will set aside. All right, so we've got half of our dough, and I'm going to cut this in half again to show you how you might make a baguette. So we're going to sprinkle the dough. I'll set this portion of dough aside, and we'll work with this. So the whole point of this is to add enough flour that you can work with it and your fingers don't stick. So we want to form this, and this dough has such a nice feel to it. It sort of feels like a baby skin. So if you've had a hard day and you think, I need some R&R, this is a great thing to make for dinner. Makes you feel good, and it tastes good too. So we're going to kind of elongate this into about a 14-inch rope, and again, dusting with flour as we go. And it kind of forms itself. The only thing you have to worry about is if there are any seams, you want to pinch those, because if you don't, and the underlying wet part of the dough comes out, it's gonna blow out. It'll form. It'll still be good. Your bread will still be good, but it'll just be a little misshapen. So that's how you make a baguette. That's pretty easy. Let's set that aside. Let's take our other fourth of dough, and we'll make a baby boule or round loaf. So that's just as easy as you might think. Again, we're just adding flour as we go and forming this, trying to push this under a little bit and form a round. And that's all there is to it. What we'll do with these is let these rest. They're not going to rise anymore. They do their rising in the oven when the elevated temperature causes them to really do their thing. But we need the dough to rest, to relax a little bit, so we're going to set these aside for 40 minutes and come back and show you how you do your oven.